Hello, and welcome to a short little presentation about Magic House. This presentation is just to show you what a 1 week schedule will look like and go over the general contents of the lesson and what makes this curriculum so effective. So, first of all, we'll take a look at the week. Basically, the main key point of the week is that it starts with very simple language and then it moves towards a more challenging and rich language by the end of the week. So the children don't feel overwhelmed. The children feel like they get very good at the language over the period of the week. We have phonics, we have songs, we have games, and we have crafts. All of these are designed to use the language that native speaking children use in the most enjoyable and effective and emotionally engaging way for Japanese kindergarten children. So we can take a look at the schedule a bit later, but this just gives you a very general idea of how the week would flow and the important point that the week starts with very simple language and grammar, and then it moves towards more rich grammar with the goal of trying to do imaginative play activities near the end of the week. The curriculum uses several storylines. One of those storylines is Jimmy's Magic House. So we can go over that and how that works a little bit later. Just want to introduce the character Jimmy. We'll be seeing him soon. We also use phonics. And of course, as you know, phonics kyojiho, or the phonics method, is very, very important and very well known in Japan. Now, most schools, they'll teach phonics in a way that goes from A to Z throughout the whole alphabet, and then they'll start working on words. Now, what we've done is because Japanese children don't have a lot of contact time with English or with foreigners, or even with reading in English, what we've done is we've arranged the alphabet in order of the most used words by native speaking children to least used, most used letters to the least used letters. And we've color coded it so that children and teachers both can understand very simply the level that they're on. Now, most curriculums, as I just said, teach from A to Z and then they start working on words. Whereas this curriculum, we first teach one group of letters, A, B, C, T, F, and we teach the sounds, A, B, K, T, F, and then we use those letters to make words so that right away the children are using the letters that they've just learned to make words. So as they go through the alphabet, the letters that are the most used are most familiar to the children, and they gain lots of confidence with these letters and these words. We also use these letters to make adjectives. So the students, even though they're only learning for a few months, they can still work on making some very simple and easy to read sentences that are readable by single sounds. So it, s, it's, a, f, at, fat, k, at, cat. So these are very easy for the children to make sense of and sound out. The curriculum also has these sounds built into the curriculum as well and connected with the characters of the story to make it very engaging and interesting. We also have some simple writing practice. This is a level 2 writing practice, so it's a little bit higher level. So this would be probably for some Nencho kids, where they would be first writing out the letter and then writing out the words, and then they would be introduced to another worksheet without any hints on it. So as you know, living in Japan, phonics is a very good and excellent way to teach reading to children, and we use the most used letters in the English alphabet first, and we make words right away so the kids can really get good at reading early on. Now, phonics also has a weak point. So, phonics の弱点もあります。でその弱点は説明しますが、まずはクイズをします。So, I would like you to please think carefully for a moment. What do you think the most used word by native speaking children is? Let's think about that for a second. So a lot of parents and some teachers, they think of words like cat or apple or chair. However, the most used word in the English language is the. The or the is the most used word in the English language by a long shot. This word is, if you compare with the second most used word, this one is the most used word double the second most used word. So it's very, very useful, this word. And so we teach both the phonics method as well as the kohindo tango listo. And in English, we call that the sight words. So we also teach sight words at the same time as we teach phonics. Now, as you can imagine, this is very similar to Japanese, where we learn hiragana and katakana, which is a sound-based alphabet. And then we also learn kanji, where we just often have to learn what the sound of it is, the onyomi. And of course, with kunyomi, we learn different readings for it, but it's basically, we have to learn it, just memorize the sounds. There are different hints or different patterns that will help us to know the different sounds, but essentially the hiragana and katakana are sound-based alphabets, whereas kanji, we just need to memorize a lot of the patterns and sounds. And so this being the case, if the is the most used word, the problem and the challenge is, how do we teach this word so that children can use it in a natural way? And in the regular classroom, we can compare it to other words. So for example, the word apple. If we take the word apple and we want to teach this word to a classroom of children who have never seen or heard English before, and we want to teach them the word apple. Now, if we just say the word apple, to them, it sounds like schwap schwap, just some random sounds. They don't understand what it would mean. So one very interesting way to children is we could show them an apple and point at the apple and say, apple, apple. This would be a very quick way to show them the meaning of the word apple. Since we cannot have a lot of fruit in our classroom or live animals, it is a great way to just use a flashcard. So we show a picture of the fruit and we can point and say apple. This is a very easy way to do it. If we have the word tobu, which is jump, or in Japanese also jump, we can, instead of showing a picture for this one, because it's an action, we can just jump. Yeah. And just get all the children, we just say jump, 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 and run, run, run. And we just do the gestures for these words. And this is the fastest and easiest way to convey or tell the meaning of the word jump or other verbs such as run, eat, drink. So we can do actions. This is another way to teach language. So let's say that we were teaching the word taisetsu to Japanese adults. So for Japanese adults, they generally come to an English school to learn a language, to learn English. And so if we said to them, okay, the word taisetsu, taisetsu は英語で言うとimportant です。で、if we wanted to teach them the meaning of the word important, we would just simply translate it for them and just say important の意味は 大切です. And we could give them a list of words in English and Japanese. They could go and memorize the list, and then they could go and practice with their teacher. This is for adults. For children, if we start to use Japanese in our language, then it's children all start to speak in Japanese in the class, and we want to avoid this, so we don't do it. We use English only. Now, of course, when the children become in grade 5 or 6, then it is okay to use Japanese to explain grammar. And so here we are, and it just shows how easy it is to show the children the grammar. Now, how do native children learn a language? Or how do native children learn the word the and how to use it? Let's take a look. They play with their mothers from when they were babies. Their mothers may say something like, "Go get the ball. Come on, go get the ball. Go get it. Go get the ball. Good. And give me the ball. No. Give me the ball. Here. Okay, thank you. Good. I love you. Oh, put the purple ring on the cone. Okay. Now put the green ring on the cone. Where does the cube go? Where does the cube go? Good. Put it in the hole. No. In the hole. Yes, put it in the hole. Good. So you can see the, and the is everywhere in our language. So we have to ask the question, how can we do that in Japan? And the answer is very simple. TPR. TPR is a teaching methodology called Zenshin Hanno Kyojiho, which means that the teacher will give a command and the student will follow that command and do the gesture. For example, stand up. Everyone stands up. Sit down. Student, sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Touch your head. Touch your shoulders. So the teacher is giving commands to the students. The students are doing what the teacher says. And by doing this, they will then learn the language. The problem with TPR is that it takes a long time. So we have created what is called Story TPR. Now, Story TPR is like TPR, where the teacher will give a command, the students will follow the command, and they will act out a story. Let's take a look at the story first. This is Jimmy. This is Jimmy's house. This is Jimmy's room and his mom. Open your window. It's a sunny day, said Jimmy's mom. Okay, said Jimmy. He climbed onto the bed to open the window. Jimmy looked out the window and saw many bugs. He saw a spider, a fly, a ladybug, a cricket, and many more. The bugs said, "Can we come in your bedroom?" Jimmy was very scared and said, "No, you can't come in here." The bugs jumped in Jimmy's window. Help me, help me. Jimmy ran away. He jumped off his bed. He didn't want to play. Now, if we look at the story, we can see the pictures are very clear as to what is happening. He climbs on the bed. He looks out the window. It's sunny. He opens the window. He sees some bugs outside who jump in his window, and he is very scared. So he runs away. So at that point, the students are very clear about what the context or what is the situation. So we can act out the story with the students together. So for example, we all stand up and let's do it together. Go to the bedroom. Students will repeat. Go to the bedroom. Sleep. Sleep. Wake up. Climb on the bed. Climb on the bed. Open the window. Open the window. Run away. There's a spider. Yeah. So it's a very simple story. However, we can then use this story later to make more interesting and complex sentences, such as Don't open the window. Why not? There's a spider. Or, I'm sleepy. Go to the bedroom. Okay, now what? Go to sleep. Okay, thank you. And in such a way, we can use this TPR as the fun, enjoyable, simple base to create longer stories, sentences, and conversations in the future. Now, the story, it does look like a fun and enjoyable story for children. However, this story, in fact, this is the list of the most used 44 words in the English language by native speakers. And if you look at this list, all of the stories in this list have been used to create these stories. So, in fact, the stories are made from these lists so that the students can, in fact, be able to use all the words that the native speaking children can use most of all. Now, I created this method 15 years ago, and slowly but surely it has been spreading all over Japan. And so here is a presentation of me there, and I am doing a presentation to over a couple hundred teachers who are there to watch.